after 7 we can get started. And the format tonight, sometimes we do kind of a round robin, but what we're going to do is the ladies are going to read first, and then when Mike and Abe come, they can be last. And each of the readers will read for about 15 to 20 minutes each, and then we're going to take a break and come back for an open mic. So, what I can say about Dianne and Clarissa, Dianne used to come to the readings for a long time ago, and then she had some back stuff going on, and so she thankfully got that all taken care of, and so now she's back in the Cleveland poetry scene. She's been coming to lots of readings, and I know you're really going to enjoy her work and also her spirit. Clarissa Jacobson's lives kind of down near in the Kent area, and besides being a wonderful poet, she's an artist and a book artist, and hopefully she'll pass her book around that she made, because it's beautiful. So anyways, okay, we'll get started, and Diane's going to go first.
It's nice to see everybody tonight, and I thank you for coming out. People ask me where I get the ideas for my poems, and it's gotten to where at work they will actually give me words and say, can you write a poem with this word? So they gave me the word derelict the other day, and I came up with a poem. This is it. My derelict heart is camped out under the bridge. It's there, I tell you. You want to see it? It's there, shivering and filthy, skinny as bones, crouched on its haunches, chugging cheap hooch from a goblet disguised as a paper bag. You want to call out to it? Go ahead. Call out. Whistle. Sing. Here, kitty, here, kitty. But I bet it will flinch and turn away, rise on unsteady legs and shuffle off, hiding its ravaged face. It's not much for company. Doesn't care to share its wine or time with strangers. Doesn't want to tell its story to the press. Rejects all pity and salvation. It wouldn't understand your kindness anyway, nor your frustration. The graffiti on the wall behind its cardboard home welcomes you to hell. And speaking of hell, pink hell. The other day I read where someone had written that hell was not black and hot after all. You know, all vast and vaporous, brimstone and lake of fire, but pink and wet. And I'm not sure how they knew that, but it made sense to me. I can see hell being all squishy and squirmy and uncomfortably moist, worm-ridden and dank-smelling like the worst basement you've ever been in. Its floor yielding to your footsteps like slippery mud, only it's not mud, but blood or mucus or some other pink-tinged viscous body fluid, with its puckered walls closing in, swelling about you like the muscles of a uterus around a fetus. And I can see where you could find yourself unable to back out once you've entered in, feeling all panicky, trapped, and claustrophobic, and you can't catch your breath, and you can't see an inch before you, only that damned gelatinous pinkness, and you're engulfed. And you know, it's too late now. Nothing is ever born again here. Shakespeare said that the world is a stage and all of the men and women are merely players on it. And I've kind of updated that a little. It's called writer's strike. It's like a movie, you know? The lights dimming, the studio fanfare, a birth. Main player introduced. The slow start, the build-up of childhood, the blur of awkward angles and sudden shifts in points of view. All those odd moments trotting by, making no sense. Characters moving in and out of scenes without explanation. Passers-by on the street. Motivations unclear. Punishments undeserved. Rewards misunderstood. All that piling up and breaking down. All that falling behind and balancing out, first impressions, false leads, flashbacks, keeping you guessing, and a gradual segue into the realization of inevitabilities. And always, 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 invisible hands moving the props around, putting things in your way, putting things beyond your reach, putting things just where you need them, just when you need them, putting everything down like the almighty hand of God. And right when you think you have it all figured out, you have events under control, you have a clear grasp of the situation, right when you think the construction of the story is logical and you really can believe your eyes, right in the middle of everything, there's that big way out of left field, that honey, what the fuck you talking about plot twist that you did not expect, which you did not see coming. The one that takes your breath away, makes you gasp in disbelief, knocks you on your ass, and leaves you in total amazement at the director's cunning sleight of hand. And you wonder, what clown, what genius, what madman, what savant is writing this script anyway? We're talking about life and how life goes. Kathy Smith was here over the summer with her husband Stephen B. Smith and did some readings, and she writes a blog just about every day and invites people to comment on it. And one of her recent ones was about dots and daughters and telepathy and our place in life and our place in the universe. And this is the one that I wrote in response to one of hers. It's called Period Piece. Dot or not, I am not a son or son, but a moon and a daughter, born of water and salt, thought pale and planned, piloting my little pod, ungodded, undotted, unmanned.
Yeah.
I wanted to shake it up just a little bit here.
You can wait till the end.
And this one is called World Within You. I'm going to go in a love direction now. Tell you what, sexy. When you touch me, I've got all the time in the world. You're beautiful, and my life sings. I pray to your fingertips. When you kiss me, my whole world is within you, and I need nothing more. Ooh, baby, you make me happy, and I'm feeling so alive. Now I have to say, I wrote this in response to Marlena, where Marlena has a magnetic poetry thing on her MySpace page. She kept begging me, do something with it, do something with it. I wrote that using her magnetic poetry thing. So, thank you, Marlena. All right. My husband knows what I like about him. Men wonder, what do you like about them? Do you like their butt? Do you like their shoulders? Do you like their hands? Do you like their eyes? Well, I always thought that the mind was the most sexy thing about a man. It's called What I Like About You. Your mind is immeasurable. A treasure trove, a green grove, a moving picture. Fictional and fissured. Pricked and kicked and sometimes licked and laved by Lady Love. Wicked and whimsical. Musical, magical, label untaggable, mercurial. Curious and curiouser. Procuring and stirring and blasting and blurring. Upsetting the apple cart and letting loose the dogs of more. Again, people ask, where do you get your ideas for poems? We all have a muse that speaks to us. My muse is something of a dark angel. I wrote this one in response, and it's about someone else's muse, a male muse, or a male writer, and this is his muse. She has been with you again, I can tell. You have that furtive look about you, and you have the smell of ink on your breath. I know that she has taken you by your thin white wrist and caressed the fine hair that furs your arm. I imagine her guiding your hand to her lap, you touching her, her touching you. I close my eyes and I can see her moving closer to you, whispering in your ear, her exhalations hot on your stubbled cheek. I know you took her in your arms, opened your lips for her kiss. I know you let her explore your teeth, the roof of your mouth, your tongue. And I am quite certain that when you wake up in the morning, the indentations of her wanton form will be reflected in the crumpled sheets of your poetry.
That's one of my favorites.
John has that posted on his Chronicles page, so I'm pleased. I like to play with words. I like to see what I can do with them. This does have two meanings. It's called As She Turns Down the Bed. Yesterday we did a show, and I kind of followed the arc of a relationship from the beginnings of a love affair to the end of a love affair. And this, of course, is where it starts going bad. It's called As She Turns Down the Bed. When did our union become insubstantial, a will-o'-the-wisp, a whiskey dream? When did the hour become your? When did the glitter fade from the sky's eyes, and where did the bruise of night crawl in? Light years measure distance, not time. At your insistence, I closed the blinds. The theme of my poetry lately has been undressed. Not undressed as in our body is undressed, but undressed as in our souls are undressed, our mind is undressed. This one's called Undressed. You undress me without my consent. You find the heart of me, that naked part of me that I want to hide from you, and you lick it to arousal. You bring it to orgasm, and you expose it to the world. I hate you for that, but I can't help myself. You undress me, assess me, brand me, scar me with your hell-dark eyes, as if I were some kind of property, meat for the taking, marking me as your possession. You disembowel me with vowels and consonants and nouns and dizzy adverbs, your filthy words, promises of sweat and passion, those promises you never meant to keep. You undress me and thrust your poetry down my throat. You choke me with your hard words, but I swallow all the same, and I hate myself for loving it. Over the summer, I was very lucky to get to go to a lot of different readings and a lot of different venues. And one of my favorite venues to go to was a little independent bookstore in Lakewood. There was a large gathering of poets there. We all seemed to be having a really good time, but after 2 or 3 times there, we were asked not to return unless we wanted to read the poems of dead classical poets. Our words, our ideas were no longer welcome there. It seemed that some people were, not the owners, but some people that came to the store were intimidated or afraid of the words and the ideas that we were using. Now this kind of blew my mind because I thought the whole idea of a bookstore was words. And it shocked and appalled me. And I wrote this poem in response to that. It's called Back to the Pack. There's a little epigram. When poets are treated like dogs, they howl. Ferlinghetti said that in Poetry as Insurgent Art. It's called Back to the Pack. You know who you are, and you know what you know. You howl, man, really howl. You black wolf, you mad dog, you holy boy, Ginsby boy, beatnik, Dharma bum, con man, loose among the unsuspecting flock, scattering the weak, shattering the peace, shocking the Pop-Tarts and the old farts with a regular Sturm und Drang of furious words, a quasi-religious cant, a revolutionary rant, hurtling from a darkness so profound, it hurts to look at it. Bukowski knew this night. D.A. Levy, Poe, Burroughs too, Morrison, Lennon, Hendricks, they all knew the taste of it. They all knew the embrace of it, all had their coarse fur ruffled by it, all raised hackles at slurs, all scrabbled for purchase on the scree of ignorance and rejection, all prowled and howled and growled and snapped at the heels of heels, feeling lost and cast out. They knew. Cohen weeps with it. Reed walks on the wild side of it. Dylan, Dylan, he knows what's blowing in the wind. He smells that cold ash of bullshit and knows everyone has to fend for himself. It's eat or be eaten out here in the sticks. Yeah, you know who you are and you know what you know. Although does anyone really know anyone? No one really knows, but we all know that no, don't we? Oh yeah, we know. We know another bourgeois bookstore door bangs shut on our snouts. We know another window of opportunity slammed to keep our crass and degenerate influences out. We know what we know, man. This game is fixed. You can look through the glass, Jack, but touch is nixed. No warm den, no come on in for this wild pack. Huff and puff all you want. Some walls just won't blow down. Is it getting hot in here? 451 degrees Fahrenheit, I'd say. All our good intentions going up in smoke. Yeah, I know what I know, and I'm feeling that choke collar slipping over my head. I'm feeling the wheeze of things not said in my throat. I'm feeling the gag, the drag of the chain, feeling my neck tighten to steel, feeling my whole body straining against the leash. Hell yeah, I want to eat, but I don't want to be spoon-fed. They can keep their kibble and treats and snacks and stacks of plastic classic pablum, their fireside chats, their comfort zone and monotone domesticity, and strokes and pats on the back. I need a place where words and the wolves who write them are read, not dead. We know what we know and we go where we go, questioning the status quo, testing the limits of convention, making a mess of their manicured lawns, their rose-colored gardens, making that manure fly. We'll be restless, roaming, pesky, sniffing around, our noses pressed to the cracks under the doors, always hungry for more, but refusing their refuse, their crumbs from the Republican table. We may be outlaws, but we're not that unstable. It's time to howl, man, really howl. You know who you are and you know what you know. Come on, bitches, howl. Joplin howled, Plath howled, Doolittle barked at the moon. Come on, you dogs, you dark, wild, wicked, willful, wonderful wolves. Howl. Cry foul. Let's get alpha on their asses. Let's mark our territories with piss and vinegar. Heart's art, mind's flight. Let's fix them with our yellow eyes and let loose with our howl! And if they didn't know before what we know, they'll know it now. Thank you.